any real use case of blockchain, you need oracles. And they were first introduced in 2014. Since then, they have grown a bit, but it's still a very slowly developing thing. And as you see here, Ducatur strives to be the #1 standard way for businesses to connect their data into the blockchain. So yeah, next slide. In the last 6 months, we've been very active. We've won the Global EOS Hackathon in Hong Kong. Just recently, it was like 2 months ago. Since then, we decided to close the ICO early and focus on strategic partnerships and investors. And since then, we have grown the blockchains that we work with to EOS, Neo, Cardano. Right now, we're working with Ktum, or Quantum Ktum, and Icon, if you know those. We have already delivered our MVP, and I'm going to go into detail with the other things that we did since then. Okay, so here's a slide about oracles so that you guys all understand what we're talking about. Basically, the oracle technology allows for data outside the blockchain to enter smart contracts. And there's no native way to do this. So right now we're working with oracles that allow you to send data from outside the blockchain about cryptocurrency data, about betting data, about financials. One interesting thing that we're working with Cardano on is that to develop some kind of solution for financial data to get into smart contracts first very fast, and like any recurring data, be updated every second or so. And that's a very big challenge, but it will allow a lot of dApps to be created. So yeah, next one. Yeah. So basically, through the growth of Ducatur in the last few in the last few months, we've seen that the problem with connecting businesses to the blockchain is still a huge thing, and we see a huge market possibility here. And the way we think about Ducatur is that we are going to gain so much experience working with real businesses, helping them transfer their data into the blockchain. At the same time, having this multi-chain approach where we're working with Ethereum, EOS, Neo, Cardano, other blockchains, that this will give us the experience to easily move businesses to blockchain. Next one. So here's just a slide explaining the Ducatur ecosystem, where we basically have our strong points together, and just easily explaining this, having the ability to work with businesses and give them the opportunity to send their data into the blockchain. We acquire a lot of use cases for using data for companies that want to get into blockchain. And then what we have is a lot of these use cases that we can use for other businesses to come in and help them put their business on the blockchain. At the same time, we're working with putting a lot of different kinds of data onto the blockchain. And when I'm saying a lot of different kinds, I mean like numerical data, text data, and this could be events, financial stuff, anything. Logistics, and almost any business, we're talking about like different kinds of data. So what happens is we are very experienced with working with different kinds of data for different kinds of solutions, and we have this base of use cases that allow us to easily move businesses to the blockchain. So these are kind of our selling points, the base things that we think will drive us very fast in the crypto industry. First of all, it's the multi-chain approach. As I said, the idea of Ducatur is to help out different blockchains, help them establish these connections for businesses to connect their data to the blockchain. And we think that's a very big thing, allowing us to work closely with the top 10 coins like EOS, Cardano, NEO, to be talking with them and trying to get partnerships with them. This is multiple industry, and what that means, basically, any real use case of using blockchain in business, you're going to need oracles. Either way, you're going to need to send data from outside of the blockchain into the blockchain. That's where we come in hand. There's other interesting things about how we work with data and our data providers, though that's a little bit more technical. Yeah, let's get to the next slide. Okay. So the Ducatur token, as I said, we're all about data. So the token is used to pay for the data, and in our ecosystem of data providers, we also have this thing where to provide data, they need to stake our coins. And the answer to why we're doing this is that this creates a motivation in our ecosystem so that they have motivation to provide good data. And good bad data is basically where they are sending us data that's correct. For example, let's take data from cryptocurrency exchanges about the price of Bitcoin. And that data is then going into a smart contract that lets you make a bet on whether the price is going to be higher or lower. And in this situation, kind of the data provider has some kind of possibility to give bad data and influence the betting smart contract. So the way we solve this problem is we have a lot of data providers giving the same kind of data. And all of them stake their tokens, providing us with that we're being sure that they're giving us good data. So the token is used to reward data providers. It is used to stake the token and for the data providers to work. It's also is going to be used for financial and cryptocurrency data, where we're going to allow companies and developers to use our data for free for some number of times, and then if they want to increase that number, they're going to pay with the tokens. And the interesting thing here is that it's a multi-chain token. It's the first multi-chain token across Ethereum, EOS, and NEO. And you might ask, what does that mean? It means that the token can is existing at the same time on 3 different blockchains, like Ethereum, EOS, and NEO. Usually everybody sticks to one blockchain, but we thought that the future of blockchain is going to be with interoperability, with multi-chain approach, and that's why we created the first multi-chain token. So you can easily change your Ducatur token from Ethereum blockchain to EOS blockchain with it having the same value. The way this works is that when you change your token from one blockchain to another. We burn it on the one you changed it from and issue it on the one you wanted to change to. Yeah, next one. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, so here's a little bit more about the multi-chain token. And I think everybody heard about tokens moving from the Ethereum blockchain onto another on their own blockchain, or Ethereum tokens moving onto EOS tokens. And what we see is that this almost always leads to some kind of problems, because the tokens were not meant to be moved, were not meant to be reissued. On the other hand, Ducatur was meant to be a multi-chain token, like at the start. And what this allows us to do is that, for example, all the data providers that we have, they're off-chain. And the different blockchains that we'll work with, they go like layers like this. And this allows us to connect the data providers to different blockchains. And the multi-chain token can easily go through these layers of blockchains and interact with data providers, interact with data receivers. So we think that's also a very, very big step forward in terms of interoperability of blockchains. Yeah, next one. Oh yeah. So getting back to the oracles. So this is a brief outline of what we're doing in terms of oracles and where we're heading. So a big reveal is that we finally managed to make EOS oracles, and the funny thing is that we're the first in the world to do that. If you're not very big on technical stuff, that might come as a surprise, but it is like this. As I said, being on the forefront of working with data allows us to really engage with different blockchains and run and be at the first places of it. So our approach was that we need to create financial and cryptocurrency oracles that allows you to send cryptocurrency data and financial data. The next step from this will be to create a hackathon where people are going to use these oracles to create decentralized applications. Like, to explain, basically, we are writing the code on which other applications will survive on. They will need us to create their projects, to create their products. And what's next? Next, we're doing Neo, we're doing Cardano, we're doing Tone. We're very, very heavy on Cardano right now. And then, as I was saying, we're trying to make financial data more usable on the blockchain. Right now, it's we don't have a lot of competitors. We are starting a conversation with Bloomberg. We're starting a conversation with Thomson Reuters in terms of how to provide financial data, how to work with it. They have some solutions. We're trying to cooperate in that sense. Events data, that means, for example, where you have, let's say it's a match of basketball and somebody won over somebody. That's an event, and that's that's kind of a harder type of data. And that's the next thing we're doing. And then text data, we want to have and be able to analyze text data in the blockchain, and like, for example, you would have centralized data about news. Let's say we're talking about America. Everybody knows they have Republicans and Democrats. We would have, and the information there is totally different from what side you're looking from. And basically, that would give an objective view on things. And to make things even more complicated, we're creating our own blockchain, which is going to provide a layer of pure decentralized data, where basically there's literally no point where it's centralized, and it's going to be a beautiful decentralized thing where you will have data providers giving you the data, and then we'll have developers and companies using this decentralized data with no possibility at all to influence it whatsoever. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, this is a very brief roadmap. It changed a lot after we won the EOS hackathon, as we understood that we can do it better and bigger. And right now we're just focused on delivering a lot of development with the oracles, with the partnerships. We also wanted to announce here as a secret announcement that we're going to have a partnership with Oracle, the company. So that's also helping a lot. And we're diving deep into Asia, trying to work with Asian blockchains and companies. And it's going very well, as you can see, with us winning the hackathons. Actually, right now, our development team is in India on a hackathon for Ethereum. It's called ETH India. Yeah. Next one. Oh yeah. These are just little solutions that we had to let you guys understand how we work. And basically, here's an example that allows you to understand that any kind of data could be Oracle data for the blockchain. And here we just had a use case where we wanted to show that you can do it in a decentralized way where you would have judges, and judges would be oracles at that point that would give information to the smart contract in the blockchain. So that's information outside of the blockchain, into the smart contracts on whether to release the funds or not. This is not kind of like a multi-sig wallet. This was more like of judges giving an assessment to an ICO project or a crypto project, so that they would say, yeah, they're going very well. Give them the next piece of funds so they can continue development. Yeah, next one. Yeah, this is a betting ICO. So what we did, we just wanted to show that, for example, when you're doing a smart contract, it's an easy smart contract. What you want to see there is that you're putting bets on whether Bitcoin is going to cost more than $6,000 tomorrow or not. There, in this very simple smart contract, you're going to need data from crypto exchanges. And guess what you need to get that data into your smart contract? That's right, you need oracles. And this was our basically way to show that we were taking information from 5 different crypto exchanges, taking the average and giving that as a solution on a certain date. So if we would say that I'm betting that it's going to be more than $6,000, we would get the information today from those exchanges and put the right winner automatically and send them the funds. Yeah, next step. Oh yeah, that's just how it looked. Hey, you can go to the next one. It's not that interesting. Okay. Basically, here we just wanted to show that the amount of smart contracts is growing very fast, and with different blockchains right now, you all started slowly, but right now it's catching up to the pace with Ethereum, and there's more and more smart contracts. And the thing is that if you want your smart contracts to be something a little bit bigger than a very easy smart contract, you're going to need information from outside of the blockchain, and that's where you need us. So this is just showing that the demand for oracles, the demand for data outside of the blockchain is going to grow every year. And we think this trend is going to continue. And with us being on the forefront of this technology, we think we're going to succeed very well. Yeah. Next slide, please. Oh yeah. This is just this is like the top guys of our team. I guess that's me on the left. And I've been just doing a lot of crypto work in the space, and working with a lot of ICOs, I came to a realization that we don't need another token for a token, or just token for a business or something like that. We need to help. We need to help grow the crypto world, and the way to help it grow is to deliver technical solutions that allow businesses to use blockchain, and that's what Ducatur does. Francis has been working in IBM in the company Oracle, which we're going to partner up with. He has like 25 years of experience with IT, so he's helping us a lot in London. Then Ivan is our technical director, and his big thing is that he has a lot of experience working with very large companies, like the biggest energy companies in the world, like Rosneft, Rosatom, Gazprom. I think you've heard about those. And he was delivering SAP solutions. And SAP solutions is basically when you're delivering a huge IT package into a company and making it all work. And his experience really helps us understand where we could implement blockchain into a company and how that would work out. Yeah, next one. Yeah, this is kind of the end. Just showing you that we won the US Hackathon. In the end, I just wanted to say that we're growing at a very fast pace with the team and everything, and we hope that the next time I'm in Korea, we're gonna have a few other hackathons, one like this. Yeah. Thank you all.
네, 큰 박수로